according to Korean economist Ha-Joon Chang.
There is remarkably little evidence showing that more education leads to greater national prosperity. Much of the knowledge gained in education is actually not relevant for productivity enhancement, even though it may enable people to lead a more fulfilling and independent life.
Gwilym Croucher, the author of a study that examines the link between productivity and university, is a senior lecturer in the Melbourne Centre for the Study of Higher Education and the principal policy advisor in Chancellery at the University of Melbourne.
The study of productivity in higher education, and its contribution to local and global economies, has become an increasingly important area of focus for scholars, as well as for those who fund and administer higher education institutions. The reason for greater attention in part comes from the increasing scale of post-secondary education in most countries. Both developed and developing countries have grown their provision of higher education in the last 70 years, and along with this, there has been an increase in per capita enrollment. This growth accelerated during the 1990s and 2000s when the proportion of the worldwide population entering higher education more than doubled. Across all countries, 1 in 3 young people are now enrolled, requiring the establishment of many more universities, colleges, and other higher education institutions. Universities and colleges now demand a greater proportion of public and private resources and form a larger part of the economic life of most countries. Higher education contributes to growth and economic efficacy and, hence, the overall productivity of an economy. While few scholars dispute the productivity-augmenting power of education, and often research looks at the role of higher education alongside that of primary and secondary education, there remains much debate over the size of the contribution it makes to economic growth, economic efficiency, and, hence, to raising productivity overall.
So of course we had to test the theory. We used GDP per hour worked as a reasonable measure of the productivity of people.
We asked ChatGPT how important North Sea oil is to Norway's economy. The verdict: North Sea oil is a significant contributor to the Norwegian economy, accounting for a significant portion of the country's export revenue, government revenue, and gross domestic product. According to the Norwegian Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, the petroleum sector accounts for around 40% of Norway's total exports, 20% of government revenue, and 14% of GDP. The discovery of oil in the Norwegian North Sea in the late 1960s transformed the country's economy, creating thousands of jobs and providing a significant source of revenue. The revenues from oil and gas production have been used to invest in infrastructure, education, and other public services, contributing to Norway's high standard of living and social welfare system. However, Norway has taken steps to reduce its reliance on oil and gas, in part due to concerns about climate change and the long-term sustainability of the industry. The country has invested heavily in renewable energy and has set ambitious goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Nonetheless, North Sea oil remains an important contributor to the Norwegian economy, and the government continues to manage the industry carefully to maximize its benefits. Then we looked at the number of university graduates per capita. With the notable exception of Ireland, which has had artificially high GDP ever since Microsoft moved their head office there for tax reasons. Productivity levels actually appear to be negatively affected by education levels.
This is exactly the opposite of what universities tell us. Professor Chang seems to be right.